Dear sisters and brothers of the Korean Health and Medical Workers Union and the Korean Nurses Association, I'm Rosa Pavanelli, the General Secretary of Public Services International, PSI. On behalf of the 30 million public service workers and more than 700 unions in 154 countries who are members of PSI, I would like to congratulate you on organizing the 2022 International Nurses Day Resolution Rally. PSI is a global union federation which brings your voices of public services workers, including health sector workers, to the UN, the ILO, the WHO, and other regional and global organizations. Recently, our contribution has been fundamental for the review of the ILO Convention 149 on nurses and is crucial to highlight the work of nurses and health workers in the ongoing negotiation of a global treaty for preparedness and response to pandemics that is taking place in the WHO. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced the world to recognize the vital importance of health workers and health services. It has also demonstrated that a unionized workplace is a safer workplace for workers, patients, and for public health, and that unionized health workers are the defenders of public health. Across the world, people enjoy universal quality public health services only where unions are strong to fight for them. Last year, KHMU fought for better public health. After intensive action and negotiations, you reached an agreement with the Ministry of Health and Welfare that should have achieved great results, expanding public health care, recruiting more public health workers, establishing an infectious disease response system, and improving patient treatment and care. However, the government has not kept the promise. I know that this betrayal led President Na Soon-ja and Vice President Lee Soon-hee to go on a 10-day hunger strike, insisting that the agreement be honored. Yet, things are now even worse. The new Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is promoting market-led solutions and regulations and deregulations, lower taxes, and eventually austerity. We have plenty of evidence that these policies have been entirely discredited, leading to lower wages, inaccessible and overstretched public services, poor health outcomes, particularly for the poorest, and at the same time, greater inequality and greater obscene profits for health companies. Our world is in crisis. The pandemic, the climate crisis, the crisis of inequality and growing poverty, and now war. Neoliberalism and corporate solutions will not only make this worse, they are the problem. Now, it's time for us to call for the expansion of public health care, as the establishment of an infectious disease response system, expansion of health and medical personnel, and others. Your government has now applied to join the most neoliberal trade agreement in the world, the CPTPP. This trade agreement locks in neoliberal policies, giving foreign multinationals the power to influence government and legislations, privatize public services, and to sue governments if they adopt any policies that corporations think will reduce their profits. We know that you face enormous challenges. Your new president is a threat to you, to public health, to social justice, and to equality. But we know that even the worst neoliberal governments can be stopped by the organized power of workers and their unions. Unions in Korea have shown that in the past, and I'm sure will show again in the future. Now is the time to fight to make sure the government respect and implement the September 2nd agreement. Victory to Korean Health and Medical Workers Union. Victory to the nurses and all health sector workers in Korea. PSI will continue to fight with you and all PSI affiliates in Korea.